Boy and Game Boy Color game collection here today. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 games here. If you want to see this without gum and talking in my normal tone, this same video is up on, that way is up on the Buried Under Cliches channel, if you want to check that out. Alright, let's get started. Let's start with these two. Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2. 6 golden coins. These are the Japanese versions. They're just cheaper. This one I got off eBay. This one I would have been in a pickup video. I got from Book Off back in Massapequa when I was up there in May. That was May already. Wow, almost a year. Almost a year. They're just cheaper. Japanese versions are cheaper than North American ones. This I had when I was a kid on Game Boy, and it's an awesome game, Super Mario Land, with great music. This one I never played. Back then, never owned it. Really good though, it's got an overworld and stuff. There's like rabbit ears in this one. That's like the new kind of power. It's an old world, you can go wherever you want. And you gotta get the 6 golden coins to go after Wario. We actually played this one day on the Retron 3. That's where I like to play these games, and I'd rather play them on the TV than on the Game Boy Advance at this point. Because that's where wouldn't be on the game. I don't have an original Game Boy anymore, but we got up to Wario's Castle and tried like 30 times. I just couldn't. There's like a thing you can do where you're collecting with the coins you collect. You can go into like this little house type thing, cave, whatever the hell it is, and you can do like a slot machine gambling thing. We could win a bunch of lives, and we went in one. We had the 909 coins. I'm like, oh shit, we went into this thing. Like, what do we do with these? And we put the max number in, and we ended up getting, I think, 99 lives or something. Yeah, it was 99 lives, because it goes through, it's like, and it stopped at 99 lives. I was like, alright then. And we're going to need them all if we want to get past that castle. But it's a really cool game. It's fun. They're both fun. Chase HQ. This was Oakdale Gaming back in New York. Pick up $7.99. A few of these will be from there. $7.99. Played a little bit of it. It's pretty cool. It was like I think the level I was doing, I just had to like beat the timer or something to get to where I needed to get to. This game might be on the NES. It's on the Genesis, I believe. Maybe even the Super Nintendo. Super Chase HQ. Tiny Toon Adventures, Bab's Big Break. I picked this up from my fiance. She likes Tiny Toons game. She has the 2 on the NES. She hasn't played this one yet, so and I haven't either. I might throw it in though. I might throw it on the Retron. See what it's all about. The Retron Square. They called the Retron 3 before. The Retron Square. Radar Mission, another pickup. $3.99 from East End Gaming. Back in New York. Submarine game. I do like submarine games. I have this. I have Silent Service on the NES. I have 688 Attack Sub, I think it is, on the Genesis. I gotta find other sub games. I had one that was cool on the 3DS. I think it was called Steel Diver. It was pretty cool back then. I could probably actually, since she has a 3DS now, let's real quickly see how much Steel Diver is going for. For whatever reason, I like submarine games, so. $10 new. It ain't expensive. If I wanted to hit another one, but like I said, I like it. NBA All-Star Challenge 2. Now this one, I think it only came out on the Game Boy. Maybe it was on the Game Gear. It was not on the Super Nintendo or the Genesis. The first one was. I have the first one on the Genesis. Now, originally when I was a kid, I had it on the Super Nintendo, but it was all about the 3-point contest in that one. There's a player on each NBA team. There's one player. You can play one-on-one tournament, horse, one-on-one tournament, free throw and 3-point. This one added the dunk contest, which once you get the hang of it, it works surprisingly well. There's like maybe 6 different dunks you can do. You gotta hit the buttons in like the right time. There's an X on the court. You gotta hit the right time, and they'll do the move. Kind of like a hit release type thing. I don't know, hold release. I forget. But it actually works fairly well. I'm surprised this did not make it to Super Nintendo or Genesis. Maybe because I think they only added dunk contest. I'm trying to think of the other mode. If the other modes are just like the first one. But we got Drexler, Ewing, Dominique Wilkins, Chris Mullen, Olajuwon, and Karl Malone on the artwork there. Or the picture. And here's one of the 2 games I have here that are my original from when I was a kid. Quirk. It is busted up, and it's been busted up since back then. I forget what happened, how this happened. It might have fell on the ground and I stepped on it or something. I don't remember. But I did another video on this. I had sold my Game Boy in the, it might have been like the mid-90s, maybe late 90s. I can't really remember. It was probably the mid-90s. To my friend with the games and the carrying case, which I still have now, and the Game Boy itself and some other stuff, connectors and wires and whatever. And in 2017, he found it. He's like, "Oh, I found it! I found my Game Boy. It's in a box, right? Or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, can you sell this for me on eBay? Keep some of the money." I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "I got to keep this Quirk and another game," and I kept the carrying case. Some of the other games that were mine, I put up a video. I'm pretty sure I put up a video on this channel. So like Castlevania Adventure was mine. Motocross Maniacs should have been in there. I don't know if Super Mario Land was. An NFL game. The Final Fantasy Adventure, which I think is the first Mana game in Japan. But anyway, I had to keep these 2 because I like them. Quirk's a puzzle game where you gotta get this guy. I guess he's Quirk. And there's levels you gotta like push objects a certain way, turn these things to get through. And if you screw it up, you gotta restart it. But it's a fun little puzzle game. Perfect for the handheld. Now on to the games that are in the cases you used to get. Just nice little plastic cases to protect them. The first one here is Super Return of the Jedi. I got this one a couple of years ago, I believe. It's kind of just like the one on the Super Nintendo, except it's a little bit of a weaker version, but I played some of it. The ones on the Super Nintendo are classic games. They're just very hard, but they are fun. And here's the second game I had kept. I love this game. Lock and Chase. Actually, let me get some. I'll tap a little bit more here. I forgot to do any tapping on any of the cartridges themselves. Well, it's not as good. But this is a cool game. It's very much like Pac-Man. You're collecting these little pellets, but you're like a thief, and you're always going to these banks. And the guards are chasing you, and you can get little powers like Pac-Man to where you can go after them. And then it gets a little more crazy as you go on. There's like hidden walls you can go through. There's alarm clocks that if you touch them, all the guys will awake. They're all sleeping. They'll all wake up. There's other ones with little like these like lightning beam things going back and forth, or they're going on and off. You gotta go past. I think, but there ends up being more obstacles per level and stuff. It's a fun game. Like I still play this to this day. I love this game. I don't know what this might have been on if it was just on Game Boy. It might have popped up on like the Commodore or something like that. It sounds better, the tapping, when the game is not in there. The last of the Game Boy games by Konami's Dummy Company or whatever. Ultra, I was gonna call them. Ultra, it is Motocross Maniacs. This one I got at $12.99, a little steep price on it actually. $12.99 and East End Gaming. This is a classic. I have the one on the Game Boy Advance. The second one was on the Game Boy Color. It's like a dirt bike game, like Excite Bike, except you're going through like up hoops. You're getting the little turbo boost. You're going shooting through these little loops and stuff like that, hopping over stuff. You gotta avoid sand and shit. The music in this game's great. It's just a super fun game. The one on the Game Boy Advance is cool, but this first one's... I never played the Game Boy Color one, but this one's great. The Game Boy Color one is like $35. But I do love it. I had this one as a kid. I just mentioned it before. I used to get pissed at this game too. A classic, though. Now on to the Game Boy Color games. The first two are also from East End Gaming. It's funny, all four of these games here, I also have on the Nintendo 64, so these are like the Game Boy Color versions. This one sounds better, actually. More of a solid cart. This one was $7. It is 007, The World Is Not Enough. I threw this in to test it, I can't remember. I played a little bit of it. It seemed alright. I need to go back and play more of it. I need to throw these into the Retron Square and play them on the TV. But they do work because I did test them for a little bit. And the next one, which I also have this, well, I said I have all from Nintendo 64 version. Mission Impossible. This was also $7 at East End Gaming. I said this in the other video too, and I've said this before. On the video I put them buried under cliches. There's not a lot of Mission Impossible games. It's weird. I need to get them all. I have this one. I have the Nintendo 64 one. I have the NES one. And I have the Operation Surma on the PS2, the one that came out during that generation. There might be like 3 or 4 more. Oh, there is not a lot of Mission Impossible games. It's weird. This one was a little interesting. I played a little bit of it. It's not the best game to begin with. Even the Nintendo 64 one's not that great either. I need to play more of it though. I said it was $7. I like Mission Impossible. Scooby-Doo. Classic Creep Capers. Now this one's different than this is like a straight up point and click game. Like the classic ones. Scooby-Doo is made to be a point and click game in my opinion. It just is. It's just the way it's set up, you're solving mysteries, like it's just made for it. Now I have the Super Nintendo one, Scooby-Doo Mystery, that is a straight up platformer. And it's not a bad game. I might have did a gameplay of it, I can't remember. But the Genesis version, Scooby-Doo Mystery, is a straight up point and click game, and it's awesome. It's leaps and bounds better. It's what Scooby should be made for. I don't. There's a bunch on the PC, I believe. But this one is a point and click game, and it's pretty fun from what I played of it. The Nintendo 64 one is a point and click game as well, but it's a little more involved with the gameplay and stuff. It's not like a traditional one. You're running around doing more things and stuff like that. I love that game. Too short, but it's fun. Like, I would love now. It's like now with the gigabytes that some of these games are, you can make a Scooby-Doo game and have it be. You could play through like the whole show, first season at least. You could do. All right, we'll just leave it at like 15 to 20 of the cartoon episodes. You could turn into things, you know, like an open world Scoob where you go into all the places you got to solve the mysteries, and they're kind of maybe in more confined areas and stuff, but still like point and click. And this should work, but you don't get a lot of Scooby-Doo games anymore. What was the last Scooby-Doo game that came out? And the last one, Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Less buggy than the Nintendo 64 one. Everybody knows the Nintendo 64 one is one of my favorite games of all time. This one's pretty fun too from what I played of it. It's following the Nintendo 64 one, except it's just graphically doesn't look as good. But you're going to the same places and doing the same kind of stuff. And indie games are just fun, honestly. This is what I need to throw on the Red Ron Square and give it play to, maybe even do a gameplay of, because I was kind of enjoying what I was playing of it. And this is a system, the two of them, I want to pick up more for, even Game Boy Advance for that matter, just because the Red Ron Square. And I can play them on the TV, which is great. It just makes it easier. I don't have to worry about looking at the smaller screen and shit. But yeah, Indiana Jones and Infernal Machine. And yeah, that's my smaller collection of those two. And I'll probably do Game Boy Advance maybe again at some point soon. I don't know, I might do whispering on that one. I don't know. Maybe after I pick up a few more games. There's a couple games I'm looking at. I just haven't picked them up yet. But yeah, just Game Boy and Game Boy Color game collection here. And thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.